Welcome back to Boring Build Friday. We're once again working on our 2016 GMC Terrain Denali. Now the painting gnomes came in and did their job, so now it's time to do ours. I did hear a rumor that there was going to be a special guest appearance today, so let's find out who that is. So the pizzaless pizza girl is back again. I think I got her to come back because of all the Bondo dust. I think she thought it was chalk. So it's really easy to put these doors on with two people. These are kind of a pain to drive both those hinges on by yourself. So I guess I shouldn't make fun of her if I want her to come back. So now you put the latch in the rear door. Slide the door lock up there. Bolt it in. And now we can put the door on the car. For the last time. I hope. Pizza girl has gone on to deliver more pizzas. So I'm by myself. Luckily this door isn't really heavy. It's easy to put on. Just latch the back. And we'll run our bolts in. Since we took them out of the door, they're self-aligning. We don't have to worry about where it goes. It's going to align itself. It's currently 3 a.m., but I need to get this thing apart so that the painting gnomes can get their job done. So let's start tearing it apart. This video is sponsored by Red Bull. Well, it's not, but I think it should be. So we're going to start stripping the front end down. Pull the closeout panels off around the headlights. Pop our little plastic rivets out. And pull the trim piece out. Do the same thing on the passenger side. So now we can pull the bolts out of the fender liner and our plastic clips. Looks like this one upset somebody already. A couple more on the bottom. I'll do the passenger side. And pull our bumper out. A few bolts across the top and the grill. And our bumper cover's ready to come off. People are apprehensive about pulling bumper covers, but they actually make it pretty easy these days. So now we'll finish taking our fender liners off. Pull all the little plastic push pins out. And we'll pull this dirty wheel liner off that we're not going to clean before we put back on. Now we'll do the other side. Ah, this one's just as dirty. I'll pull the bracket off for the bumper. It also holds the bottom of the headlight in. But we need it out of the way so they can paint the fenders. Now to get these bolts out of the headlight, we're going to use a magnetic socket on an excessively long extension. It's actually very helpful for these particular bolts. Not just because I'm too lazy to go find a shorter extension, like usual. And we'll take the other side off. Unplug the headlight. Now we can start pulling our doors apart on the passenger side. There were a couple scrapes on the bottom, so we had to repair those. Now we're going to have to repaint it. The entire vehicle is being repainted. Well, most of it anyway. Some of it's just going to be blended and cleared. So we'll pull our door panel off. We'll pull our upper trim off. Pull our belt molding off. And pull our window channel out. Pull the stationary glass out. We're just going to set it off to the side. Now we're going to drill out all these stupid rivets in this upper trim. Really don't like these things. And they start spinning, so now we're just going to knock the heads off. A couple little plastic clips on the back for the gasket. Pop those off, and we can pull this trim off. I don't want to take the front one off. That's 3 rivets I don't have to replace. So now we can pull the door handle out. In case you haven't seen me pull enough of these door handles off. Just loosen up the screw on the inside, pop the back cover off, pull the handle out, pull it off. Now we're going to do the front door. Pull the door panel off, disconnect the wires and the door handle. Pull that upper trim off. Pop all of our clips off that stayed in the door, didn't want to go with the door panel. We can unbolt our mirror. Pull our cap off for our door handle. Then take our belt molding off. If you look at it really hard and concentrate, the clips don't break. And pull our door handle off. Loosen up the screw, pull the back cap off, pull the handle back, pull it out. Don't forget the gasket. I'll pull the back glass out. I was going to leave it in there and just not worry about painting underneath it. Yes, even I can get away with not doing everything perfectly. However, this glass had a few scratches on it. Apparently the wiper blade was bad and it scratched the glass up, so rather than having scratched glass in this thing, I'm just going to replace it with the other one that's good and gives me a chance to paint underneath it, so the haters have nothing to complain about. Of course, the other haters that say I do way too much work will complain about something. You know what? I don't care. Now our glass opens like a Yukon. And we'll rip that last little bit of urethane off. So now we can put some curtain airbags in here, like the last guy didn't. So we'll pull what's left of our old one out, and we'll set our new ones up there. Slide the inflator in, and start bolting it in. One little clip in there. Just work our way down. Plug it in. And then we'll work our way back to the front. Oh, we'll unbolt the rest of the other side. Throw that in the pile. Slide our new one in there. Bolt the back of it in. Work our way back. Plug it in. And work our way forward. Now that our curtains are in, we can throw our headliner in there. We'll bring it in through the gate. Fits a little better through the windshield, but I'm not pulling it out just for this. Make sure to snag the wires on everything you pass as you try to maneuver the headliner in. So we'll clip it into the tabs that are in the sun visors. Once those are in, stick the magnets to the roof, plug in our antennas, and put our clips in the back. And it'll stay up there for now. Now we're going to put some cavity wax in the part we repaired. Make sure that it doesn't rust out. This side will have a better chance of lasting than the other side that the factory did. So we'll do over the wheel wells, and we'll do our D and C pillars. And we'll do inside the dog leg. There's multiple panels, so we need to get on each side of the panels inside. Get a good coating in there. There's no such thing as too much wax. So now we can finish putting our headliner in. Bolt our sun visor in. Put our little plastic cap on. Clip the sun visor in. Tighten the screw up inside the sun visor clip. And close the little door. We'll put the grab handle on. Bolt it in. And close the little caps. Couple grab handles in the back. Same way. Those little caps will hold the handle down as you bolt them in. If you use them like little mini prop rods. Bolt them in. Close the caps. These handles do have other names. Some of you may know them as the oath handles. So before we put our right front door back together, we're going to put our cavity wax down in that bottom seam. we have it apart, might as well spend a few seconds to make sure it lasts. Bolt our speaker back in, put our water barrier back up. And put our door handle back on. Slide the front in. Put our little gasket in. Slide the handle forward, clip it in, and put our little cap on. Bolt that in. Make sure it works. Put our belt molding on. Slide it underneath the trim in the front and clip it down. Now you put our mirror in, run the wires through the door, and snap it in. It's got a little plastic tab that'll hold it on so we can let go of it. Then we can put our bolts in. Plug it in, put our upper trim on, slides around a couple tabs on the inside, and then underneath the gasket, all the way around the seam. Pull the gasket out. Sometimes it gets stuck underneath. And now we can put our door panel on. Clip our door handle in, plug all our wires in, slide the door panel into the clips on the top, and snap it in all the way around with our door panel installation tool. Put our bolts in our pull handle and behind our door handle. Put our little caps back in. This little cap did not give me that reassuring click, so I was not convinced it was really in there. One door down. Now we'll put the side moldings on. Just line up the tabs, push them on. Much easier than taking them off. Same thing with the back. Line up all the clips. Snap it in. Use your molding installation tool. Make sure it's securely fastened. I'm going to put the door handle in the back door because I'm tired of reaching in. Put the gasket in. Then we'll slide it forward, flip it in, put our little cap on, and bolt that in. Make sure it works. I'll put the little molding on the bottom of the fender. Same as the doors. Just line them up, clip them in. There is one clip on the bottom. Got to make sure you get in there. Now I'll put the door handle on the other side. We'll tighten up this screw. We had it loose from when we had that handle out of there. Put our gasket in. Slide the door handle in. To push the little tab that it engages on out a little bit for it to grab onto. Put our little cap on and tighten it down. And we'll put the last door handle on. Make our life easy getting in and out of this thing. Even though this one has a lock, everything's pretty much the same. Put the gasket in, slide the handle forward, put the cap on, bolt it in. Couldn't be easier. Got a little cap on. And make sure it works. Now we're going to put some wax in our left rear door. Since it's wide open with nothing in it. Put our door check back in. Even though we're going to have to take this back out, I'm tired of the door closing on me. So we'll bolt that in. I can run our wiring harness through, feed it through the door, and then run it through the door. Put our airbag sensor in. Flip it all in. Plug in our door latch. Jam our regulator in there. Bolt it in. Plug it in. Now we can plug in our harness to our B-pillar. Clip it together. And just snap it in. Put our little cap in there. Now you put the trim on the front of the door. It slides over the edge and then slides down. And we put our upper trim on. It just clips over that pinch weld and then goes behind that trim we just put in. And we can rivet it all in. Turned on the compressors for this one. No caveman method. There's a lot of rivets. Now you can put our window channel in. Set the front in. Set our stationary glass in. And clip it in. Slide the front into its slots. And bolt it in. Move the stationary glass back a little bit, give ourselves a little more room. Now we can slide our door glass down in the door. Hopefully, keeping it in one piece. These things are really hard to put back together. So we'll guide it down into the window regulator clips. Put our track back in. And we'll put our window back up. Bolt it into the regulator and bolt in our window track. Put on our little gasket around our door lock. And try the window a couple times. See if we got it right. Slide the belt molding on. Clip it down into place. And we'll put our water barrier on. There's a couple little dimples on the top. You line those up in the holes. And then you just push it on. It's always good to forget to put the door handle cable in. And you just gotta fish it in there. Makes things fun. Alright, that's done. Now you can finish putting the water barrier back up. Just work our way around. The bottom is the most important part. As long as that's attached real good, you shouldn't have any problems. Put our door panel clips across the top on. And we'll put our window sweep in. Put our door speaker in. Plug it in. Bolt it in. Now we'll put our upper trim around the inside of the window. Just clip it in. It's a lot easier without that other door gasket in. This actually normally goes in first. And clip in our door handle. Run the wires through for our switch for our window. Put our door lock in there. Slide the door panel down onto the top clips. And we'll use our door panel installation tool. Make sure it's all clipped in. Put our bolt behind our handle. 2 more behind our grab handles. Put our switch / handle assembly in there. Little cap behind our door handle. And now we can put our door gaskets on. One in the back just pushes on. I guess so does the other one. But our door check is going to be in the way on this one. So we'll clip it in all the way around until we get up in the front. We'll have to pull the door check out, push this thing around the other side, and bolt our door check back in. Continue clipping. Now we'll put the other stupid molding on top of the door. Rivet it in. This fancy air riveter. There are much better methods of attaching these surround moldings to the doors. I'm not sure why GM decided to experiment with this method, but I wish they would stop. Slide our window channel back in, / stationary glass. Put the channel up there, and put our belt molding on with our belt molding installation tool. Now put our window sweep in. With our belt molding installation tool. Couldn't find the window sweep tool. Bolt our window channel in and try out our window. Yep, it works. Tighten up the regulator. I wasn't sure if I disconnected it. I'm old, I don't remember things, so it's always better to check it than find out the hard way. We'll put our cavity wax in our door, pull out the speaker, get a little bit behind there. We'll get the rest in behind the water barrier. Put our water barrier back up. Put our upper trim around the inside of the window. Not sure which I hate more, these pieces or the outside trim that's riveted on. Either way, I'm not a fan of these doors. But somehow, the GM fans will not be bothered by my opinion, unlike those silly sensitive Ford fans. Slide our door panel in, clip it all in, bolt it in, put our switches in, and put our little cap on. One more stupid molding. Rivet it in. Put our window channel up there. Bolt the window channel in. I'm going to put our little gasket in there. Just a little piece of styrofoam that goes underneath the mirror. I'm going to put our belt molding on. Run our mirror wires through the door and push our mirror in. Now we can bolt the mirror in. Now we got to pull this door panel off. I cheated. So once you take the driver's door panel off, none of the other windows work. So I left this door panel on so that I could use all the other windows. So we'll pull our speaker out of there and realize that there's a window inside there. So we're going to plug this back in, put the window back up. Now we can disconnect it. Pull the speaker out. Now we can get our wax in there. A little more behind the water barrier. Now we'll snap our upper trim in. Now we can plug our mirror in. Put our speaker back up there, bolt it in. And we put our door panel back on. Plug it in. There's a bunch of plugs because I guess GM couldn't get all the wires in one plug. Plug in our door handle and install our door panel with our belt molding installation tool. Put all our bolts and caps in. Now it's time to start putting the spare tire well back together. Put the little insulation underneath. A little styrofoam piece. It's recycled. It was once a cooler in its former life. More styrofoam. Probably wouldn't have to save weight and use styrofoam if the back seat didn't weigh 600 pounds. So now we'll put our rear sub in there. Bolt it in. Plug it in. And we'll put our spare in there. I still refuse to take the jack out, so we're just going to jam it in there. Bolt it in. I did fill it up with the summer air, just so you know. Now we can bolt down our styrofoam and install our rear seat belt. Tab slides in on the top, and it has a bolt that's covered in 6,000 pounds of Loctite. Click. Now we'll bolt in the top of the seat belt. Click. Make sure it works. A lot easier to check it now, make sure nothing's twisted than after you put it all together. So now we put the quarter trim up on the passenger side. Flip it all in. That bottom clip didn't want to find its home. We had to help it. Now we can bolt it in. Put our little caps on. Now we can toss the quarter trim in on the driver's side. With our quarter trim installation tool. Bolt it in. Put our little caps in there. And back to the sun visor. I'm all over the place on this one today. Put our little cover up over our rear view mirror and camera. Just snaps in. Have to move the little rubber band that used to hold the little treat air freshener. Now we're going to install the carpet on the inside of the car where it belongs, not in the wheel liners. Run our wires, tuck it down where it belongs. Bolt in our wire. And now we're ready to put our console in. Yes, the carpet was vacuumed. Not by me. I wanted to leave it dirty. Now we can plug in our console. Just one big plug and then the USB wire. Slide the console forward. You do have to make sure the shifter cable is going where it belongs. And then we'll bolt the console in. I always bolt the bolts that hold it forward in so it fits tight against the dash. And then run the other ones in. Now we can line up our shift cable, snap it into our shifter. Bolt the back of the console down. Now we're ready to put our covers on the sides. Just line them up, clip them in. I don't have one of those special console side piece installation tools, so I just repurposed the belt molding installation tool. Seems to work pretty well. We can put our bolts up in the front. And we're ready to change our adjusters for our seatbelts. Had to run over to Scott's Terrain Emporium. He had a couple in stock. He's always got plenty of parts, but the owner's kind of a sarcastic jerk. So, we'll unbolt them. There's one little push pin that holds them on. Push the push pin in, that'll hold it up there, and just tighten up the bolts. Make sure it works. Now we can put our A-pillar trim in. Plug in our speaker. And plug in our little safety cables that keep these things from flying around the car when the airbags deploy. Of course, if you put it back together and don't put the airbags in, I guess you don't need those pieces. Like the last guy. We'll plug this side in. Those top pieces, they kind of twist. From the factory, they come installed in the A-pillar trim and then just clip into the A-pillar. They're really hard to get out of the A-pillar, so it's easier just to fight with them, get them back into the trim. Now we can put our quarter trim on, snap it into place. Pull the gasket out. And bolt out our cargo hooks in the back. Little caps on. And we'll do the quarter trim on this side. Yes, that other quarter trim had a little dent in it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's in the cargo area. Clip it all in. Start our cargo hooks and bolt them in. Put little caps on. And now we're ready for the rear sill plate. Snap it into place with our sill plate installation tool. Pull the gasket out. And put our spare tire cover in there. Now we put our passenger seat in. Line it up with the tabs up front. Lift it forward and it'll drop into place. Plug it in so we can move the seat forward and bolt it in. Now recline the seat so we can get the headrest in. I can bolt in our seat belt on the bottom. If I put this bracket in the right spot, what do you know? I did. I can put this door gasket on the bottom. Since we didn't Bondo up all the holes, we don't actually have to glue it on. We can clip it on like we're supposed to. Now we can start putting our rear gate together. We'll route the wiring harness and clip it all in and enjoy all the clicky sounds. We can run our wires through for the rear spoiler and clip in our harness. If you've never seen one of these tools, it holds the gate at a good working height. It is adjustable. It just goes around the striker and then clips into the latch. You can adjust it to whatever height is comfortable to work on. These are available in my Amazon store if you want to check them out. So now we can put our side trim on, route our wires through. They clip over the back edge and then snap in. These are different because this one has a power lift gate. That's why it has that wire in there. Those are for the sensors. In case you get your hand stuck in the lift gate. Then our license plate retainers. And our rubber baby license plate bumpers. Now we'll install the rear glass and a quarter glass. I use the primer. This is one stage urethane, so technically I don't need it, but I do like to be safe. Make sure that I filled in any parts that might have had bare metal and give it a good adhesion. It's not going to hurt to put it on, it's just extra. Besides, I kind of actually like putting this stuff on. I feel like Picasso. So now we're ready to put our urethane on. We'll start in the back, in the center, and go up and around. Want to make sure you have enough urethane to get all the way around. You don't want to be stopping and starting. That just leaves you prone to leaks. And when you come up the other side, you go inside of the bead you already left. That way, if for some reason there was not a good seal on there, The car would have to be upside down for the water to leak in, and at that point, they have more problems than a leaky window. So now we're set our window in, push it into the urethane. If you manage to get the window out without breaking all the little tabs, it'll line itself up. I did not. So we're going to have to tape it into place. It will move, so tape it where you want it to go. Leave it on there for about 24 hours. Now we're going to do the same thing on the back window. Put our urethane all the way around. You cut a V in one side of the nozzle, and that's how I'm making this nice bead. Well, I think it's nice. Doesn't leak, so it's nice. Might not be pretty, but it works. We're going for function, not aesthetics. So, now we're ready to put the glass in. Got the roaming gnome to stop roaming long enough to help me with the glass. And I didn't break any tabs off this one, so it lines up pretty easy. Clip it into place, then push it in. There's a little bit of adjustment side to side, so we'll make sure it's centered in there. Push it in all the way around, make sure it's got a good seal. And we'll put our tape at the top, make sure it doesn't move. With those clips in there, technically I probably don't need the tape, but we're going to put it on anyway. Now we can put our finish panel on, plug the camera wires in, and slide it into its slots. This probably should have gone on before the window. Live and learn. So now we can put our taillights in. I have put the windows in after these. I wanted to try it a different way. Found out I was doing it the right way all along. So now we can bolt in our finish panel. Plug it in. And bolt in our taillights. Plug those in. One more bolt. Put more bolts in the other one. Actually, those are nuts. I'll put our cavity wax in the bottom seam. And put our wiper motor on. Bolt it into place. Plug it in. Now we can put our taillight in. Plug it in. Slides into the bumper bracket and into the quarter. You gotta kind of line everything up at once. And just push it in. We'll put our bolts in it and the little caps. Now we can put our liftgate trim in. Plug the button in. Apparently it works. Get the door back up there. So snap the bottom in. Then work our way around. Now we put our headlights in. Plug them in. Bolt them in. The bumper bracket on the bottom of the fender. We'll bolt that in. It also bolts to the bottom of the headlight. Tighten all those up. And over to the driver's side. Plug in the headlight, bolt it in, and put in our bracket. So that's as far as we're going to go today. We're still waiting on a few parts. When those come in, we'll get this all finished up. Thanks for watching. See you soon.